They don't think you could do it, but tell you to try when they talk. All I hope had to keep it alive. Spend a day in the Bronx, but you wouldn't survive. Can be low when I pop out, they know I've arrived. I go have conversations with Zoe, he gon' tell me pull up and come say what you know. I've been up, I can count all them days in a row. We don't say what we do, we be making the show. They say I'll be
the voice of the Bronx. We have Bronx Land with the guys are out here. Can I get a
yeah? Leave them all right where they at. Try to diss me, I bet I don't even react. Put a show on, I bet you somebody gon' I pick me a book up and drink me some water, invest in the stock. All
right, peace and love, world. Welcome to another conversation with Zoe. This is a very special episode, near and dear to my heart. This guy, you know, shout out to Falana. I'm gonna do that nice and early. Shout out to Falana, Santa Your Way, Phenomenal Reflections. What's the name of the store?
389.
389. Yeah. Shout out to 389. Doing great things. She introduced us. I interviewed Falana, and she was like, yo, this guy Dave and you are like the same person. Like, you guys are with the youth and you coach and you guys just get it. You feel me? So I'm glad that she connected us. I'm crazy. And I have ideas. And I know how to get them started.
Right.
But it was literally, I was stressed for like 3 minutes. And I texted you. You called me. And you were like, yo, like, that's a dope idea. Positive slogan on a t-shirt. Yeah. And then I was like, yo, like, I mean, can't we collab with Natural Born Brand? And you were like, sure, we can. And boom, there it was. Like, literally the quickest collab ever. You know, and I feel like we've done some great work together.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. You know, when it happens like that, that's because it's natural, it's organic. Ain't much to think about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I do stuff, especially with you, like I saw your style, I saw what you was into, I saw the type of brands that you was into and your look. So when it came time to make that collab, it was a no-brainer. I already knew what I had in mind for it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and that came out.
Everybody loves their shirts. You know, the quality is great. You know, I see people sporting them around, and it's just it really means a lot to me because you know I just know I wanted to do merch, but I didn't know like material and all that other stuff. You know, I'm a creative. I'm not all that other stuff. You know me? But the fact that you were like, yeah, let's do it, and you start sending me colors, and I'm like, oh, this is real, and we've done like 3 collabs already. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 4th one coming in the fall.
Yes.
So we going do a couple warm-ups from Twitter.
Twitter?
Right, yeah. I found some tweets.
Oh, you found a couple tweets?
I found a couple tweets, you know what I'm saying?
I wasn't really on Twitter like that.
It's a trait. It's a trait that can't be taught or learned or replicated because you are born with it.
Yeah. That's the whole basis behind the brand. That's the whole basis behind Natural Born and my thinking and the way I assess everything from basketball to clothes. Like, yo, some things you just can't teach. They born with it, whether athlete, leader, anything. Like, you can't teach certain things, you know what I'm saying? It's the greatness is within them already, and you just got to witness it, nurture it, and guide it, you know what I'm saying? That's where I come from, man.
And I think these were Facebook statuses.
Yeah.
These are Facebook.
Yeah,
so we going
I'll be on
Facebook statuses, man.
Facebook, I put my thoughts out.
Right.
On Facebook, yeah.
and in the best of us, that trait is the reason why we are destined from the time you're born, since birth, to be great. And therefore, you are in yourself natural born greatness.
That's a fact. You just got to figure it out. Some people ain't figure it out. Some people never figure it out.
Right, that's true.
But, you know, you got to stay true to yourself and just recognize, like a lot of self-reflection, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't take the time to self-reflect and really get to know themselves. Right. That's where some people crash out and all that. But, you know, all positive vibes, man.
Right. To all my entrepreneurs, bad communication equals bad business. Bad business equals no business.
That's a fact.
Which all boils down to no money.
That's facts.
Talk to him, Dave.
That's facts, bro. I hate when I'm talking to somebody and they don't know how to communicate. It's almost like, I don't know what it is, man. But yo, there's questions being asked, there's information being requested, and it doesn't get back to you. How am I supposed to do my job? How you supposed to do your job if you can't communicate? You can't talk. I don't want nothing to do with it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now you lost out on some money. You lost out on opportunity. Because you either too cool or you too busy. Busy is fine, but still, even that, just communicate, bro.
Right.
Just communicate.
If we got to set up, Fresher always calls me at this time. Yeah. I set an alarm. I call him at that time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if we got to schedule a conversation, fine. Just say that.
Facts.
Right? But all the ducking and dodging and missing, just tell me, listen, Tuesday, 11 a.m. Fine. Yeah. If it works, feasible for both parties, cool. Facts. There it is. We'll set it up.
Facts. And if it can't happen, that, to me, if something can happen, that's an automatic communication. You gotta call out either in person or let them know, because you don't want to waste nobody's time. Right. You know what I mean? Time is important. That people got schedules.
Right. Black people don't kill other black people just because they are black. Just saying.
Facts. Yeah. I said that during the George Floyd. I went kind of crazy on Facebook during the George Floyd. That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people want to stereotype black people, but people in general, if wherever you live is most likely going to be other people that look like you in majority.
Right.
And that's where crimes happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we robbing people because he's black, I'm going to target him. That's where I'm around. People commit crimes in their own communities.
Right.
White people commit crimes in their communities.
Right.
That's just a fact of life. So to say that black on black crime is a thing, it's not really a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just propaganda that people put out there to discredit or to have that negative view perpetuated all the time. Like, black people don't hunt black people and do crimes. They just in the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If they was living in a white neighborhood, they commit crimes in the white neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
History repeats itself because mindsets never change.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with that. I said that. I agree with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. History repeats itself because people don't change the way they think. You know what I'm saying? So even if you think you're changing, you know what I mean? If you continue to keep your mindset the same way, nothing's gonna ever change. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets handed down generation to generation.
Right.
Those thoughts and behaviors.
Very tasty, cheesy, onion, all of the above. One word to describe it: scrumptious. Right? We from the town, so we just gonna say pause first, but it melts in your mouth. You just love it. You know what I'm saying? I wear this shirt to sleep. How much I love 7th Street Burger, man. It's near and dear to my heart. You see the logo? It's near to my heart. That's how we do it, man. Peace. It's like, they say racism is taught.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. You learn it at home.
Yeah, you learn it at home. So if somebody put that bug in your ear,
right,
that's how you was gonna move, and that's your bop, and that's how you are.
Facts. And some people change. Some people learn to not think that way.
Right.
But it's still inside them.
Right.
Those thoughts, those negative perceptions are still there, and they can arise at certain times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And same thing, even financially.
Right.
If nobody teaches you how to be financially stable or financially secure and how to handle money, that's generational. That's a generational curse. You know what I'm saying? So your father wasn't good with money. He definitely didn't teach you how to be good with money. You got to learn that on your own.
Right.
So if your habits don't change and your mentality don't change, history's gonna repeat itself.
Loved Bruce Lee as a kid. I used to fight a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
I would bounce around like Bruce Lee while I fought. Shit worked. Made lunches and unpredictable. LOL, no lies.
Nah, this is facts, man. I was a big Bruce Lee fan. I used to watch Bruce Lee with my pops. And my pops used to study martial arts. In Trinidad, he had a teacher and all that. So I used to see him training with his sensei. So it was a thing for us. We would watch the Bruce Lee movies,
right,
Polo, and him fighting with what's his name? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all that. So, growing up in Queens, in Jamaica, Queens, I went to PS 160. And right before we moved to Long Island, is when I would have all those fights, because I knew I was moving. I knew I was leaving.
Right.
So in my head, I kind of didn't care. I knew I wasn't going to be here. So I was bad, bro. Like, I had got into maybe 6 fights within the space of 2 weeks.
Right.
Just because I knew I was getting out of there.
Right.
And I'd bounce around like Bruce Lee. I watched Bruce. I copy him, man.
Right,
Yo, because you bounce, bow. Hit that nigga real quick.
Yeah.
I ain't lose, man. I remember. Sean, shout out to Sean, man. We fought outside of PS 160 by the monkey bars and shit. Yeah, me and Sean.
Right. How old, until what age were you in Queens?
We left Queens. I was still pretty young. I was about 8. About 8, 9. I was about 8 or 9. Yeah, PS 160. Yeah, that was the time. It's crazy. I'm a sneakerhead too. These sneakers, These sneakers was part of one of those fights. These
Right.
sneakers, these are the Nike Air Darwin Lows. They just came back out. Nike
Right.
brought them back out. I had them and I thought I was that guy.
Right.
Somebody else in my class, he was new to the class, got them.
Right.
And me thinking I'm that guy, I said something slick to him and that sparked a little fight. And I'm not usually never like that, but that
Right.
it happened that time because I
You're
thought I
feeling
was that
yourself.
guy. I was feeling myself.
Queen's
That
Dave.
was my best.
That's Queen's Dave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I hear your pullout game is pretty weak, man.
My what?
Your pullout game is pretty weak.
Yeah, man. You know when you you know it happens. You know what I'm saying?
So was it last summer? When you told me, because I was just doing, I be lit, but I'm still sharp.
Yeah, right.
And I think it was at the pool party.
Yeah, we was.
Shout out to the pool party.
Yeah, that was dope. That was a good time.
Good time, good vibes.
Mhm.
And you were telling me your daughter is like 20 something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, Dave, how old are you? And you're like, oh, you said your age. And I'm like,
Yeah.
did you have a kid at like 13?
Absolutely, I did.
I'm like, oh, now I sobered up real fast. Like, oh, I would have never known. Like, so what happened? Like, what was like? Did you not feel it? Was that your first time, or?
You know, it was my first time, and that's my daughter, Najee Puff. We call her Puff.
Right.
Yeah, it was my first time. You know, inexperience. You know, stuff happens, man. I can't really. Explain it too much. It is what it is, you know.
Right.
We did that, and that happened.
and you were like in 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, we were in 7th grade at the time. Summertime, 7th grade. You know, out in Long Island, I don't know how it is in Queens because I was in Long Island at the time. You know, at the end of the year when you're doing all your tests and stuff, you got a lot of half days and stuff.
Right.
So once you finish your test, it'd be like 12 o'clock. You leave.
Right.
We go chill somebody's house or something like that. Parents watch your kids during those times.
Right.
Because you don't know what they out there doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was during those times. And yeah, one thing led to another. Kids being curious, experimenting, trying stuff out. And that's how it ended up, man. That's how it happened.
You never saw the Trojan commercial.
Listen, we was young, you know what I'm saying? We was young and the opportunity presented itself. A lot of times that's what it is. Right. A lot of times the opportunity presents itself and you as a kid, you know right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? I was taught right and wrong. I knew what was supposed to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do, but you make a decision in the heat of the moment.
Right.
And these are the consequences at times. But I don't even call it a consequence. I love my daughter. We have a great experience. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of help and support during that time from our parents and her mom's parents. You know what I'm saying? And it was hard. It wasn't easy. I ain't gonna act like it was easy. But we definitely had a lot of support. And we were focused. You know what I'm saying? I made sure I did everything that I needed to be there for my daughter. And to make sure that I never fall off either. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things I take pride in. Knowing that I had that situation at a young age, 13, teen pregnancy, I never wanted to fall off. I was always into fashion. I played basketball, and I never wanted those things to go away. You know what I'm saying? So I made sure that I got a job. I paid my babysitter. My mother made sure I paid my babysitter. I remember the first check I got from my job, I started working at McDonald's. And I got my check. And I was supposed to pay my cousin. My cousin was watching my daughter. And I think it was like $150 or something like that.
Right.
And I was like, Ma, that's like my whole check. Because, you know, when you first start working at McDonald's, you part-time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the checks that you get ain't a lot of money. So it's like almost my whole check. I was like, Ma, I really got to give it. It's my whole check. I ain't going to have nothing for myself. She said, my mother told me, she said, you want to have kids, you want to have sex, and you want to be a man, this is the consequences.
Right.
That's all she had to say to me. When she said that, I took that as I'm a man now. I gotta be a man. I took it pride. I took that with pride. When she said that to me, I was like, all right. There's no other way. She gotta get that money.
Right.
If I need more, I gotta do something to get more.
Right.
And that was it. And that's how I've always moved.
Did her mom have a father?
Not in the picture. Father wasn't in the picture. Her mom's father wasn't in the picture. I don't fully know all the ins and outs of that. We met him later on. like
Right.
years when we were already adults.
Right.
He came around, but no, she didn't. It was just her mom, her sister, her aunts. Her aunts were
Right.
heavy in her life, so a lot of women.
So how'd you tell him? Or did they just, it was over a period of time?
It's crazy. I remember I didn't tell him. This is how it happened. I was in middle school, 7th grade, on the basketball team, right? I was pretty good player, and the whole school was always at my games and stuff like that. My father would come watch me play, and she was my girlfriend at the time, and she was also the manager of the team. She would do the books, the score books.
Right.
So she was at the game. My father came to the game and saw her at the game with a little bump. You know what I'm saying? My father's a grown man. He's got 4, 5, 6 kids of his own.
Right, right.
He knows what a pregnant girl looks like. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So he don't say nothing the whole night. Whole car ride home. We get home, and it's about 6, 7 at night. He's in the kitchen cooking. He loved to cook steak and shit. My father loved to cook steak. He called me in the kitchen. He said, "Dave, your girlfriend's pregnant?" I was floored at the time. I knew at the time. I had just found out maybe a couple of days later. So when he said that, I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" He said it like he was like, I thought this was a magician, like a psychic or something. Read my mind, and I said, yes, she is. And then he didn't say nothing. My dad is not really a man of too many words when it comes to situations like that. He's more of a doer actor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he'll show you and teach you by action. So he said that, kind of left it alone. And the next morning, I remember it was a Friday. It was a Saturday morning. That morning, I had to go downstairs in my parents' room with my mom and have that conversation.
Right.
And then after that conversation, my mother was devastated. She was very upset. She was very disappointed. Asking me how could I do that and stuff like that. I thought it was smarter than that and all of that. And then I remember we called my girlfriend's mom at the time. My mother. We called them to talk about what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And that all happened like that, bro. Like it came out of nowhere. Like I wasn't it just happened like
Right.
Friday night into Saturday morning, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And but like I said, at the end of the day, they realized that the baby's coming. She didn't want to have an abortion.
Right.
The baby's coming. I'm not really for abortion like that. Certain circumstances, like I'm pro-choice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you have the opportunity and the resources to take care of the baby, I feel like you should. And once I knew that was happening, I already made my mind up. Like, yo, this is my kid. I gotta take care of her.
Right.
You know, like there was no other options. Whatever I had to do, I was gonna do. I came close to stop playing basketball. That's how I lost my job at McDonald's. I didn't want to work there anyway, but I was working at McDonald's, and they didn't know how to make my schedule because again, you're already part-time when you're that age, 13, 14, you're
Right.
already part-time. I had basketball tournaments, AAU tournaments going out of state almost every weekend.
Right.
The weekends was when you wanted to schedule me.
Right.
So I ended up having they fired me. They kind of framed me. They said my drawer was coming up short and all of that. Like $10, $20, $15. And then I wasn't taking no money from that. I didn't even know how to do that. And I'm not stupid like that. Like I know I'm on the register,
Right.
But there was people in there that was doing that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I guess they just lumped me in that.
Right.
They fired me from McDonald's, so I lost that job. And I wasn't devastated at all. I was wanting to play basketball. So
Right.
it was a good thing. And plus, like I said, whatever I had to do, I was gonna find another job, and I did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's how that happened, man. That was a hell of a time. I ain't gonna lie. It was stressful. But when you gotta do what you gotta do and you care about what's happening in your life and what no matter if it's negative or positive, you'll find a way. You know what I'm saying? And then luckily I had, like I said, I always got to give my parents and her parents that praise because they gave us a lot of support. They gave us a lot of help and they guided us the right way through that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy and it wasn't all peaches and cream, but I think we did the best of that, made the best out of that situation. And my daughter's beautiful now. She has her own kids. She lives in Virginia. She's married. You know what I'm saying? Her mom is a head VA doctor, doctor at the VA Veterans Hospital in Virginia.
Mhm.
She did very well for herself. You know what I'm saying? People know what I've done, with my life. So it's it's a story that's kind of crazy. Then people wouldn't even believe it if I tell them myself, they'll probably tell me I'm lying. But I take pride in that story, man. You know what I'm saying? I take a lot of pride in that. And there's nothing in this world that could going through that. What what else could stop me? What else could hinder me? What else could deter me? You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets a little discouraged here and there, but at the end of the day, bro, I had a kid at 13 and I never fell off. I never did nothing crazy. I never went to jail. My kid never wanted nothing. My kid was always fresh. She was always with me by my side. You know what I'm saying? I remember I used to go on dates when me and my ex broke up. I used to go on dates with my daughter. I'd bring her with me, dress her up, do her hair, all that. Chicks loved it. She'd be sitting right next to us, in between us, in like a little, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if my baby moms want to hear that, but
right.
but bro, we made the best of the situation. You know what I'm saying? And
what's that statute of limitations? You got height, you know what I mean? Some years done passed. So you're a grandpa.
Yeah, I'm a grandfather. Yeah,
Right.
3 times over.
3 times over.
3 times over. Yeah.
Right. Papa greatness.
Listen, man, it is what it is.
Man.
And it's gonna run in the family too. They all gonna know what you know.
So I want to get into coaching a little bit.
Okay.
What does basketball mean to you?
Basketball is life, bro. Basketball has been my life since I was 7, 8 years old. I started in Queens and I was trash. I remember Laverne Trice. She was my first coach that I tried out for. She was also kind of like my aunt. Me and her son, Tamaine, were best friends. I used to be at his house all the time. And she was the coach at PS 160. I think they had just started the team or something like that. And I tried out. It was my first time even trying to play basketball. And they were doing layups. I couldn't even do the layup. You know what I'm saying? Then I went home. I told my father, and my father and Laverne were close friends. So, you know, she told him what I needed to work on. He started working with me. My father was a very good basketball player himself. He had scholarships to Iona to play with Jeff Ruland. This was back in like the late 70s, mid 70s. You know what I'm saying? He was a very good, talented basketball player. So once he saw I was interested, he started teaching me. You know what I'm saying? And then I got better and better, and I kept playing. And then AAU, I played AAU with Danny Green. Danny Green was he was younger than us. He played up, but he was on our team and stuff like that. Played against a couple. Played against Sebastian Telfair. Gary Irving, like that was my era, you know what I mean? The Omar Cooks, the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, that was my early high school years. And then graduating, it was Jason Frazier's and stuff like that. So there's a lot of guys that was pretty prominent around my era. And I wasn't exactly at their level, but they knew my name, they knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? Because when they played me, I made sure I put on when we played against them. You know what I'm saying? So coming out of high school, I walked on at a Division II school, Columbia Union College. They changed the name now to Washington Adventist. And I earned a scholarship second semester, but it was a partial scholarship. It wasn't a full ride. So, you know, school was still a little expensive going there because it was a private school, NAIA school. Yeah. So I ended up leaving there and coming back to New York. That was down in Maryland. I came back to New York, and I started going to Nassau Community College. And I did 1 year at Nassau Community College, had a decent season. Didn't get the looks that I felt I wanted or I deserved. Everybody wanted to go D1, D2 at that time. And then I had a couple tryouts for a couple more D2s. I tried out for Dowling, a couple other D2 schools, and nothing took. Again, they were talking that second semester partial scholarship stuff at the D2. It wasn't a full ride. So after Nassau, I took a couple years off and just started working. You know what I'm saying? I would play here and there at the gym or a couple men's leagues and stuff like that. And then I started, I got the itch to go back. I wanted to finish out. I had 2 years eligibility left. So I went to York College in Queens. And I finished out my 2 years at York. And at that time, though, I think because I took those 3 years off, not really playing much basketball, staying in shape like that, even though I was still young, when I went back, my knees was real bad. You know what I'm saying? I had real bad tendonitis in my knees to the point where I could barely drive at times sometimes. I had to pull over, but I loved the game so much, I ain't let that stop me. I didn't want to stop playing. I couldn't stop playing. I couldn't just give up and just quit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, knowing my background with now that you know a little bit more about me with my daughter having her at a young age and stuff, like quitting is not really an option to me. Like giving up, unless there's absolutely no other way for you to, no other option for you, like quitting is not one for me. So
Right.
I didn't want to do it. And I probably should have. I probably should have not played, but I kept playing. I stayed with it. Had a decent 2 years at York. My team was really good. So we had the best record in school history, but we lost every championship. We lost in the East Coast Championship. We lost in the league conference championship. You know what I'm saying? With crazy records, you know what I'm saying? We just couldn't close out those championship games.
Right.
A lot of talent on the team. And that was my career, man. After that, I played in a couple pro-ams. I played against guys like Charles Jones. He played for the Clippers. He used to play for a team called TNP. I gave them 36. I hit 10 threes against them. I was a shooter. You know what I'm saying? I played basketball. That's what I'm known for, my jump shot.
Right.
Handle, not all there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a shooter. That's what I do. I can handle the ball a little bit better now, but you know,
Right.
basketball is life, man. Basketball is what guides my. It keeps me focused when I'm stressed. Without basketball in my life, I'm grumpy, I'm mad, I'm angry. Even if I don't, at this age, I'm old and tired, knees messed up. But basketball is what keeps me grounded. It resets my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like keeps me on the right track, like always.
Okay. So why coach?
To be honest, coaching, I kind of just fell into that. I had no idea I was ever going to be a coach. I never thought about it. I never had aspirations, nothing like that. The reason I started coaching was because of my younger brother, Mike Simon, and Terry Simon. They were younger than me, you know, watching me growing up playing basketball and stuff like that. So they had moved to Florida. When I went away to college, they moved to Florida and they were playing ball down there. And they were doing very well. Terry's team was like top 5 in the state. And my younger brother was in middle school, and his middle school, he was scoring 40, 50 points. I think he scored 1,300 points in two seasons there in middle school. They were beating teams 50-2 and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So he was going crazy. And at the time, I was in college. I was at York, and I started working out with a trainer named Jerry Ice Powell. He's a very, very well-known professional pro trainer. He works with Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, what's that guy's name from OKC? The skinny, tall kid, white kid.
Kitty Giddy, whatever. No,
Holmgren, Chet Holmgren. He worked with a lot of NBA guys. So I really wanted my younger brother to come up here and work out with him, and then he came up. He worked out with him. It went well, and then I kind of felt like maybe he should stay up here and go to school up here and start working with him a little more consistently. Because the influence and that just being in that gym with those type of players, you know what I'm saying? I felt it'd be beneficial for my younger brother to be around that all the time. And then we decided to let him stay. He had gotten into some trouble down at the school there, and decided he was gonna come up here to New York. And he went to my old high school, Half Hollow Hills East, where I coach at now. And then, you know, he started going there and he had a very good career there, high school wise. They set the tone and reshaped the culture of that program. Him and his teammate, Matt Boyd, Jordan McCray, Grant, what's Grant's last name? Grant, I can't remember Grant's last name, but shout out to Grant. Grant knows, he knows I love him. They changed the culture for Hills East basketball on Long Island. And ever since then, they were perennial postseason appearances. We've got about 4 Suffolk County championships within that time. We've been at the Suffolk County about 6 or 7 times since then. This was 2012, when my brother played and graduated. So he kind of set the tone. And then him coming to New York is what made me start coaching. The coach at the time was Pete Basil. He was my head coach my senior year. He was his first year coaching at Half Hollow Hills East. And before that, it was Coach Scholler. Shout out to Coach Scholler. He was a great coach too. But my senior year was Pete Basil's first year, and he gave me the green light. He me and him had a great player-coach relationship. So when my brother came here in 2000, what was that, 2009, 2010, and he started playing, I would be at all the games. So I started coaching the summer league games. And then I saw that the kids had so much potential, you know what I'm saying, on the team. This was the Grant, the Jordans, and those guys, Julius and Donald, I'm forgetting Donald's last name, but I saw potential in these kids. All they needed was the right attitude. You know what I'm saying? They had kind of had, not, I wouldn't call it a loser mentality, but they were okay if they lost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a loser mentality.
Yeah, like they didn't take pride. Like they already knew like, oh, it's Hills East, we're gonna smack them. Oh, we're probably gonna win. They'll play hard for a couple, but when shit got thick, when the game got tough, you saw like, we're not built for this. That was their mentality. And that shit pissed me off. Again, going back to what I've been through my whole life, quitting and giving up and being soft is not what I'm about, especially not mentally.
Right.
So once I saw all they needed was the right mindset, I kept instilling like, yo, every time you come out on this court, you playing for yourself, you playing for your school. Everybody expects you to lose. Everybody like, y'all cool with that? Look at these games that y'all in. Y'all so close. Y'all losing these games by 3, 4, 6 points, 10 points. Y'all, this don't hurt y'all inside to know that you could possibly be better and you keep losing these games. Y'all gotta play harder. Y'all gotta have more pride. You gotta act like every time you step on that court and you get off, they gotta remember your name. These are the type of things that I would put in their head every game. And then by the end of that summer, I did my paperwork. Coach Basil told me to do the paperwork. I did it. And I got the JV job at Hills East. And that was just my mission. My mission was to make sure every kid that I came across understood what pride was. And not even just pride in basketball, but pride in life, pride in everything you do, pride in how you look, pride in the clothes you put on. You know what I'm saying? All of that is what I'm about, bro. Is pride, like, and people could call it arrogance or whatever. It's not. You got to carry yourself a certain way in this world. You got to have a certain mind frame to move through this world, bro. This world is crazy.
Right.
There's people that don't want to see you win. There's people that specifically do things so that you can't win. And you got to be able to recognize that. You got to be able to navigate that. And you got to be able to stand on who you are. If you can't do that in life, you can't stand on who you are, how you gonna win?
Right.
You got to pass that down to your kids. You a man. You got a family. You know what I'm saying? These are things that you got to instill in your family and your kids so that they could be okay.
Right.
It starts with you first. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure that every kid, like I said, that I coach, I give them the same routine, the same treatment, the same rhetoric, and it never gets old to me because it's just the way life is. And every new group that comes in, it just renews my vigor for that message and for to set that tone. You know what I'm saying? So I love it, man. I love coaching. I'm glad it happened the way it happened. Like I said, I didn't intend to do it. I kind of just fell into it. But I absolutely love it, man. Like talking like this. Now I'm hyped. I'm ready to go coach.
Right.
Ready to go play right now.
So wrap it up in basketball before we get into the fashion and the brand.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself as a coach?
What I learned about myself as a coach? I guess I could say that as a coach and myself, I learned that you have to be prepared for every type of situation. And that was always a fear of mine since I was a kid, of not being prepared for certain type of situations. Like I used to, I remember I used to not worry, but I used to think about, yo, if this happened, if I'm walking down the block or if I'm riding my bike somewhere and this happened, you know what I'm saying? Somebody stop me. Because in CI, that's how it was. In Central, I used to be riding your bike, especially when, and other people riding their bike down the street, they don't know who you are. Or even if they just like your bike and they want to take your bike, they're gonna stop you. They're gonna stop you, they're gonna press you, they're gonna ask you your name, all of that. So I used to just keep it in the back of my mind, like, yo, if this ever happened, how am I gonna handle it? You know what I'm saying? And I would mentally prepare myself for all of these situations as a kid.
Right.
So going through that and then now applying it to basketball and to coaching, I'm thinking, all right, 10 seconds left, side out of bounds, with balls on the side out of bounds. What would I do? What am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? If I got a timeout, how am I going to navigate this situation? So the way I look at everything that has to do with basketball and just my life in general is being prepared. Like you got to have a plan or at least some kind of foresight on how you're gonna handle a situation. So that's what I take into basketball, and I learn every game. Right? Remember I said self-reflect after every game, after every interaction or whatever. I sit back and I reflect like, yo, what could I have done better? How can I have done better? And not even in a self-deprecating sense. I'm not doing it to be like, oh, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. No, because I know I'm good enough, but I know I'm not perfect.
Right.
And I know there's more that I could learn and there's more that I could do. So as confident and as arrogant that I might come off and might be, don't get it twisted. I'm studying. I'm working. I'm always researching. I'm always looking at basketball shit, even with the clothes. I do the basketball shit just as much as I do the clothes. Right. So I'm constantly looking to improve. I'm constantly learning things. And more so, I look at details. I'm very a detail-oriented person, as you can see from the clothes. Everything has a meaning, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm training or I'm doing drills with certain kids, I'm doing these drills for a specific reason. I know exactly why I'm doing this drill, and I'm designing it to get a certain outcome. And if that outcome is not reached, I tweak it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've learned. You got to be flexible. You got to be willing to learn, and you can't think too highly of yourself to the point where you become stagnant.
Right. Natural born brand. Do you sketch?
Yeah. I do. I sketch all my designs. Majority of them.
What's your creative process?
My creative process? My creative process is everything around me. Fashion around me. I see something somebody's wearing, and I might like it, and I might want to know what brand it is. Or if I can't figure out the brand, I try to make my own version of it or something similar to it. My inspiration for fashion comes from fashion. Like I'm always studying, always looking. I'm always on Instagram. I'm always researching stuff, looking stuff up. If I see a piece that I like I look up the brand and I check out the brand. I look at how their design. Again, they go back to the details. I look at their their design schemes. You know what I'm saying? I look for patterns in everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I do, even basketball, I look for patterns. You know what I'm saying? And everything kind of relates. If you look at all the pieces that I've done, all the pieces are kind of you can interchange them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they all kind of flow with each other. They have a certain design ethos that kind of blends with each other. So when I look for inspiration, I just look for contemporary inspiration. I used to look back to the Moschnos, the icebergs. You know what I'm saying? The early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, that era with Jay-Z, Iceberg Slim, like all of that. That was my inspiration because that's the era that I grew up in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Back then, you had a Coogee sweater. You had some iceberg and some iceberg sweatsuit. You one of the flyest dudes out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the look back then. So I wanted to emulate that. I wanted to get that feeling back to my brand when I decided to start doing it. Mm. So I look towards to other brands and see what they're doing and make sure I'm on par with what's current, but I never try to copy. I always try to add my own flair, my own flavor to it. Mm. So it might be the same shape. It might be a similar cut. But it might even remind you of it a little bit, but it's going to be natural born all the way.
Right.
Yeah.
So in this merch game, you know, sometimes you got to...
Oh, that's another thing too. So I don't like calling my stuff merch. I hate that word.
Okay, put me on.
I call them pieces, man.
Pieces.
I call them pieces. Like merch to me sounds like throwaway, fast fashion. Like that's throwing. It's
all right, we're coming out with some new pieces in the fall,
that's
right?
Fact. That's
Conversations with pieces.
Yeah, I don't like the way merch sound. Everybody say merch. I know it's commonplace. I let it slide. I accept it. I'll never say merch though.
Right.
You can say it if you want.
Right. I won't say it. I won't say it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. But so you ever regret giving someone some pieces?
Nah. I've been disappointed giving people pieces.
Okay.
I won't say I ever regret it because, you know, Falana taught me this. Once as long as they see it, that's still a win. That's still productive. Right. As long as somebody experiences what you have, that's always a win. So young brand people starting up, keep that in mind. As long as they experience and see it, you know what I'm saying? You got something out of that day. But I've been disappointed before while giving people stuff and they haven't wore it. Or when they did wear it, they ain't wear it right. or they didn't, they maybe I thought they would send a pic or and stuff like that, and they didn't, But all that's part of the game. So I don't I don't harp on that stuff too much. That's just part of how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
A clothing brand with a message.
Right.
Right. What inspired this shirt?
Beams, right? Lakeem Wilson, he inspired that shirt. Lakeem Wilson is a super dope artist out of Texas, right? His artwork is very pro-Black. It's very vivid. It's almost like he captures the Black experience in America from every angle, not just from slavery and everything, from 70s and Black exploitation and just being cool and fly. Like if you look at his art, it touches on all of those aspects of the Black experience in America. So like he'll have a piece like this that's related to basketball, and then he'll have a piece with a dude sitting in a limo smoking a cigar with some wine with some females in the back of the limo. Just fly shit that make you feel when you see it, you instantly connect and feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could feel you could put yourself in his paintings and be the person that's in the painting.
Right.
So that's what's inspired this shirt. I saw his work. Actually, he found me. We have our companies are the same name. His company is Natural Born Studios.
Right.
And my company is Natural Born, you know what I'm saying? The brand. And so when he first hit me up, I thought he was trying to sue me or something because we had the same name. I got a little worried, like, yo, this dude got the same name. Like, oh, what's this going to be about? But now he was showing love. He said he liked the early pieces that I'd done, the early work. And he just wanted to chop it up. So we just started chopping it up on Instagram. Then he had put me in a group chat with some other creators, and then that kind of fell apart. But we stayed in touch, and then he would always show me and send me his what he was working on.
Right.
And it just always spoke to me. I felt connected to it. I felt like we were on the same wavelength when it came to creativity. His artwork, I absolutely love his art. If I was an artist, I feel like I would make the shit that he makes.
Right.
So that's really what inspired me to make this first Beams shirt, Beams collab, with the Michael Jordan's Playground inspiration on the back. This was the first piece that he selected that he wanted to do this collaboration with. And that's what we went with. And I came up with the vision. I came up with the design. You know what I'm saying? Like that's usually how it goes. People tell me an idea that they have or give me an image of something, and then I kind of just add to it or spin it however, I see fit.
Right.
But he was the inspiration for that. He said, yo, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was looking for something to differentiate my brand. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have certain logos that they stick with. I change my logos up pretty often.
Right.
I don't know if anybody really notices, but they kind of stay similar, but it's different. I tweak it. But I wanted something that could be staple pieces. I wanted something that could be statement pieces. So when you're walking around, there's no question on what it is and who it is. You know what I'm saying? And Lakeem, he's super dope, man. I wish he was actually up here this weekend. I didn't get the chance to go see him. He did a show in Harlem.
Right.
He does that every year. He comes up here. He does it all around the country. He's super dope. Lakeem Wilson, LakeemWilson.com. Y'all gotta tap in with him on Instagram. Same Instagram. Just type in Lakeem Wilson, he'll come up. He's super dope, man. I love his work.
So what inspires this new? It's hot off the press, man. I'm seeing everybody with theirs.
Yeah, man. You got yours too. I got yours.
All right.
I got yours.
You know
I got yours. Yeah. This one, we went viral a couple times this summer with this. Let's see. Should I name drop? Should I say a couple names?
You can name drop. I like name drops.
All right. I say. I mean, I'm a brand. I'm marketing. I'm pushing, right?
Right.
So, we went viral with Lance Stevenson. We went viral with Esso and Heineken. We went viral with a couple times. There's one other pro, Fat Boy. We went viral with Fat Boy about 2-3 times with Fat Boy. I don't know if these people even really know or understand what that means for me, but I notice I'm watching how my stuff is moving out there and who's tagging me and where I'm seeing it and who's not tagging me and it's popping up. So I know it went viral. I don't know if they notice or even care to acknowledge it, but I notice and I appreciate them for tapping in and stuff like that. But what inspired this piece right here that I made for the summer, and I made some for the winter too, was he sent it to me. He sent me this image. I think it was one of the few that he had sent me, and I found it. And I was like, yo, this is fire. I got an idea for this. And That's where Children of a Lesser God came from. This was also inspired by Who Decides War. Who Decides War is another clothing brand that they use church window stained glass.
Mm-hmm.
That's what their designs look like. So like they'll have something like this, like goes up, looks like a stained glass window.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got the idea to take this image, put it on denim, cut that out, and then put that onto the cotton fleece material. Because I like that look, but again, I'm not trying to copy. So if I could do something in a way that still gives me the feeling, I'm gonna do that. And that's what really inspired this. And Children of a Lesser God is a line from Pusha T. He said, Children of a Lesser God, when our melanin got a tint. So he's saying that's how the world views you. That's how the world views Black people, as children of a lesser God. And this art piece, actually, if me and Lakeem, we have something on our page where we're discussing the piece and the inspiration for the art that he drew. And it's a lot of things, man. We're not promoting violence. I know a lot of people see that, and a lot of people just say, oh, well, there's guns on it. I can't really rock with it. I get that. It's cool. It's not for everybody, and it shouldn't be. But it's about loyalty, right? Protecting my brother's keeper. It's about community, and it's about the choices, right and wrong, that in the Black experience, like I said, Lakeem, he portrays that very well in his art. The Black experience in America, you got to choose right and wrong at times. Right. A lot of people grow up
sidewalks in the streets.
Facts, like you always say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some people will walk out of the church and there's some shit happening right in front of the church and they got to make a decision. Am I going to be down with that? Am I not going to be down with that? Am I going to ignore it? So that's really what this piece means to me. The choices that you got to make growing up in those areas. You know what I'm saying?
Last few questions.
Yeah.
Where do you envision the brand going?
I envision the brand being bigger and bigger. You know, I see myself possibly maybe getting into some department stores at some point. You know what I mean? But really right now, I'm really focused on just creating and expanding the catalog. You know what I mean? I want to start advertising heavy, like major advertising, like radio and maybe possibly TV and stuff like that. I want to really start pushing and advertising in those spaces. And to be honest, I think it'll take care of itself. The trajectory that I've been on so far, which I feel blessed and thankful for, the people that have tapped in, the networking and resources that I've accumulated in these last 4 or 5 years, I feel really blessed to have. And I feel like there's just more of that. The same grind, the same work that I've been putting in from day one is the same that I still put in now. You know, even when I got the store, I still go outside. I still do different pop-ups and different events and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little more selective now. But I think as I keep learning and I keep listening to people who are in marketing and help build businesses and brands, I'm seeing that you really got to start putting your money into your business as far as the marketing and the promotion and the PR. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important. That's the next step for Natural Born is getting it to a national scale. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see. I want to be national. I want everybody all over the country, which we've had sales different parts of the country and stuff, but I want it to be up there with Amiri, you know what I'm saying, Who Decides War, all these guys. And I know what I need to do to get it there. You know what I'm saying? Some people might hear me say that and think, what's he talking about? His stuff ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? My stuff is like that, and it's gonna get even better. Like I said, I know what I have to do to compete with those guys. I know what kind of material I need. I know what kind of looks, fits, and cuts that I need. Like I said, I pay attention to the small, fine details. I'm not playing around with this. I'm not just slapping my logo on shit and throwing it out there and seeing what happens. This shit is strategic. I know what I'm I'm making shit when I put it on, I feel like I'm wearing that shit. I feel like I'm wearing the Gucci's and all of that. That's my intent. When you put my clothes on, you're gonna feel like the name, Natural Born. Whatever you are, you're gonna feel super great when you put my shit on. You're gonna feel crazy. You're gonna put a super confidence through the roof. You know what I'm saying? If you a rapper, you jump on that stage and go crazy. If you a basketball player, you throw it on, you walking in the gym, you're gonna have 40 that night. That's what I want when you put my clothes on. You know what I'm saying? I want you to feel super inspired, super confident, and just go out there and kill whatever your arena is in life. That's what we emphasize more.
Hey. Last 2 questions, man. Message to your younger self.
Message to my younger self. Don't hesitate. I feel like when I was younger, I had all of these ideas. I had all these things that I wanted to do, all these different ideas. And really, I felt like I didn't have the resources to do it. And that's kind of what hindered me. But that's not always true.
Right.
You have every resources at your fingertips. You just have to recognize them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to like if I want to start some kind of business, if I want to start a pool hall, you know what I'm saying? You have resources. There's other pool halls around. Just go into a pool hall, ask the owner some questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever you have, you got to ask questions and you got to start gathering information. And the other part of it too is you got to be purpose driven. You know what I'm saying? If you don't fully believe in what the endeavor you're about to take on, if that's not 100%, yo, I'm doing this. If you don't feel like that, maybe you shouldn't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you have that drive, you should definitely try it. You know what I'm saying? Try everything that's in your head. Try it. Try to do it. Try to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And you might fall in love with it even more and more as you go. It's not always going to work out. You know what I'm saying? Or it might. You never know. But if you never try, you never take that step,
right,
you'll never know what could have happened.
Right. Right.
So that's what I say to my younger self.
Message to the youth.
Message to the youth. Be fearless. Be fearless. Whatever's in your head, try to make it a reality. Try to make it a reality as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? And don't let anybody shake it from you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what hinders a lot of people. They get scared. You know what I'm saying? You got to be fearless in this world. You can't be afraid to make mistakes. You can't be afraid to have people criticize you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you know what's in your heart is true. You got to go full steam ahead. Fearless. Right. Be fearless.
Right. Listen, man, let us know where we can find you. Websites, Instagram, where we could cop merch. You know, where we could cop pieces.
Right.
Buy pieces, lots of pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, man, at naturalborn_brand. The website is www.naturalbornbrand.com, right? And then we also got the store location out in Coram, New York, Long Island, New York, Suffolk County, Coram, with my business partner, Phenomenal Reflections Photography. She's a super dope photographer. She does all my images. We do stuff in store. We do events. We do photography, content, podcast stuff. All of that we use the space for. And that's out in Coram, New York. It's called the 389, LI389 on Instagram.
Fire. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Stay tuned for this one. This one is super important for all basketball people, fashion people, fathers, and just positive Black male leaders in our community, because they do exist. So we're only getting stronger because I'm holding it down here in the town in the Bronx. Right. He's holding it down Long Island. You got Haran in Queens. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Bowling for Peace.
Shout out to Haran.
You know what I'm saying? We're only growing and shedding the light on the good things going on. There's a lot of good going on, but they're not shedding the light on it. So we need to shed the light on what's going on in our community.
Absolutely.
Feel me? So my brother, as always, thank you for your time. Feel me?
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna run this one back for sure, man. But listen, look out for Flowers for Dave. That's where you're gonna see that.
Yeah, that's
and
dope.
then the interview we're gonna get it cracking. So make sure y'all be safe, be selective on where you go, and we out. Peace and love, world. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, support the channel, show your love. You know what I'm saying? We have a great conversation week in and week out. You never know who's coming. You never know what we're gonna do. But at the end of the day, it's all about peace and love. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment.